What's going on? Welcome to the video. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's going to be a great video today. I'm going to share 7 things that I wish that I knew before I started working out. When it comes to your fitness and health journey, trial and error and learning about yourself is always going to be part of the journey. But I can't help but think, if I knew these 7 things from day one, where my physique and my health might be today. So maybe you can save some time, pick up on these 7 tips, and implement them right away. And if you find yourself enjoying the video and getting value from it, consider subscribing to my channel, and let's get into the video. Alright, so the first thing that I wish I knew when I started off was to train each muscle group twice per week. Now, when I first started working out, I would train an individual muscle group each day. So I would do chest on one day, back on the next, shoulders on the next day, arms, abs, legs. And the truth is, only training each muscle group once per week doesn't allow the body to progress quick enough, and twice per week is much more optimal for muscle development and creating the physique that you want. And speaking of training each muscle group twice per week, I've got my second leg day of the week going down right now. I've got my pre-workout and I'm going to get into it. I'm going to share all the exercises that I'm doing for this home leg workout. So I started off with reverse dumbbell lunges. I really like this exercise as a good home option because you don't need a whole lot of space for it. It's, a really good quad focused exercise, and you can still load up plenty of weight if you have heavy enough dumbbells and get a good pump in those quads. The second exercise I did was a stiff leg RDL. So this is a hamstring focused exercise. You're also going to hit a little bit of the glutes as well. And again, if you've got heavy enough dumbbells, this is a good home option because you don't need a whole lot of space. And then the third exercise was a goblet squat. So this isn't my favorite quad dominant exercise, but because I had already did a quad focused movement, I like it since they were already a bit fatigued. And next I went with a single leg RDL. So the reason I like this exercise is not only because it really hits the hamstrings well, but it also hits the glute of that leg that's stabilized on the ground very, very well. So I kind of used it also to hit glutes. And then this is my main glute focused exercise, the single leg hip thrust, where I'm pushing through my heel and really squeezing that glute, and Nigel getting in the way there, obviously. And then my final exercise was weighted calf raises, holding on to my dumbbells and really squeezing my calves at the top of the movement. All right, so that was a pretty killer home leg workout. Now, I have been going back to the gym, so I've been doing one leg workout at the gym and then one weekend workout, which turns out to be legs at home. So since I have access to less tools, what I've been doing is just doing some major foundational movements like the ones you just saw, and just doing more sets and reps of them. Now, if you want to make sure that you're hitting each muscle group twice per week, the 2 workout splits that I recommend most is just alternating upper body and lower body and work out at least 4 times per week. Then you'll get each muscle group twice. Or you could do what I'm doing, which is upper body, lower body. Then I take a rest. Then I do push, pull, legs. So I work out 5 times in the week, and either of those workout splits will be golden. And now me, Morgan, and Nigel are headed to the post office. We're actually going to ship out a bunch of these Rose Fitness shaker bottles to a bunch of my clients in the Modern Man program, so let's get going for that. Alright, so we are on the way to the post office, just me and Morgan, who's behind the camera, because we realized we can't bring Nigel into the post office. So we're going to ship out these Rose Fitness shaker bottles to a bunch of my guys in the Modern Man program. And that brings us to thing number 2 that I wish I knew when I first started working out. There's really no landing spot when it comes to your fitness and your health. So I realized that there'll never be a time where you get to a physique or your body where you're just satisfied. No matter what goals you have for yourself, even if you achieve them, you're always going to want more. You're always going to want to set more goals for yourself and continue improving. And the reason I wish I knew this when I first started was because I started working out to improve my confidence and to look better and to get stronger. And I thought that at some point I'd get there and I'd be good to go and I would be totally confident and comfortable in where I'm at. But the truth is, you're never going to feel fully satisfied no matter who you are, and you're always going to want to improve as a human. The post office was closed, so I'll have to come back on Monday. All right, so that was an unsuccessful trip to the post office, but that brings me to the third thing that I really wish I knew when I started working out, and this may be the most important one, and it's if you want to look shredded and look more defined and have that like vascular shredded look to you, you need to decrease your body fat percentage and get leaner, not get bigger and put on muscle mass. And people are often really surprised to hear this because they're not sure sometimes if they should go through a cutting phase and lose body fat or if they should bulk and build muscle. And it kind of makes sense, right? If you reduce the body fat that's around your muscles, then they're going to become more visible and they're actually going to appear larger and you're going to look more muscular even though you're leaner. And here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So here's progress photos of me in 2011 when I first started working out, all the way up to 2019, which is just a year ago. And I look way skinnier, maybe like 30 pounds lighter in 2011, right? The truth is I'm actually lighter and leaner on the right picture for 2019. And that's why my muscles appear bigger and that's why I look more defined. It's because there's much less body fat around my muscles. And of course I did have 8 or 9 years of proper training and proper nutrition under my belt. But the truth is I'm actually heavier in the 2011 photo. So if you're looking to get more shredded and look more muscular and to have visible abs, you need to work on reducing your body fat percentage and getting leaner, not trying to bulk up and build muscle. And that's a mistake that I made for years when I first started. And that brings me to the fourth thing that I wish I knew when I first started out, which is the phenomenon of beginner gains. So let me explain what I mean by beginner gains. So the body has the ability to build substantially more muscle in the first 12 to 18 months of proper strength training paired with proper nutrition. So unfortunately for me, I wasted the first 2 to 3 years of working out by not pairing it with proper nutrition. I was eating whatever I wanted to eat. And also, I wasn't training properly. I was doing a bro split, training each muscle group only once per week. But many researchers in the fitness industry have estimated that you could probably build up to 25 or 30 pounds of pure muscle in those first 12 months if you're training properly and if you're pairing that with a proper eating plan, whereas those results diminish by like 50% year after year. So in the second year of proper strength training and eating, you may only be able to gain 12 pounds of muscle mass, and the third year maybe only 5 or 6 pounds. And again, those are just estimates, but as you can see, there's a massive incentive to really get it right the first time for those first 12 months to make sure that you're not only following a proper strength training routine, but you're also committing to the nutrition side of things. So please, if you're just starting out with strength training or just starting out on a meal plan, make sure that you get it right and really take advantage of those first 12 months. But right now, me, Morgan, and Nigel are headed out to go on a quick walk, get our steps in for the day. All right, now we are walking the trail. We got Nigel with us. This is something we do every single day, pretty much. It's actually very busy today. It's Saturday. There's bikes, there's people walking just like us. And that brings me to the fifth thing that I wish that I knew when I first started working out. And that's that consistency is way more important than perfection. So what I mean by consistency being more important than perfection, I mean that it's better off to do small little habits every single day, like going for a walk or drinking a gallon of water or stretching or doing a 30-minute workout, as opposed to trying to be perfect and go overboard by doing like 6 workouts a week or working out for 2 hours a day. Those things are unrealistic to sustain long term. And just as a perfect example that consistency is more important than perfection, throughout the course of this quarantine and the last 6 months of 2020, I stopped working out 5 times a week and I lowered it to only 3 times a week just to stay consistent, because I didn't like home workouts nearly as much as working out at the gym. But I knew that I could commit to at least 3. That's still decently consistent, and I stuck to that over the course of 3 or 4 months training at home, and here are the progress photos that I have to show for it. So I was still able to see really good results in my fat loss phase. I was still able to get leaner, get a little bit more shredded, even only working out 3 times a week and being more consistent. But we're just finishing off our walk, probably be about 2 miles, right?
Maybe 2.5.
2.5 miles maybe. And we're gonna go back, get some food, and I'll let you know what the 6th thing that I wish I knew when I first started working out was. All right, so that brings me to the 6th thing that I wish I knew when I first started, and that's tracking your macros is the best way to improve your body composition. And when I say body composition, what I mean is the ratio of body fat to muscle mass. So when it comes to simply weight loss or weight gain, calories are king. The amount of calories you eat is going to be the most important thing in losing or gaining weight. But when it comes to actually shaping your body and your physique and improving your body composition, going a step further and looking at the individual proteins, carbs, and fats you're eating on a daily basis, and the allocation of those macros is going to be the most effective thing to pay attention to. And the truth is, for me, I was super hesitant to start tracking my macros. I was working out for 3 or 4 years before I even started tracking, and that's something that I actually regret, not getting involved in sooner, because my physique would be on a totally different level if I had an extra 3 or 4 years of doing that. And the reason I was so intimidated by it was because I thought that tracking my macros meant that I had to eat super strictly and not have desserts and cut out, foods that were seen as unhealthy from my diet. But the truth is that it's actually the opposite of that. Tracking your macros is often referred to as flexible dieting. It allows you to fit in foods that you like, whether it's a treat from time to time or a cheat meal or things that aren't necessarily seen as healthy. It allows you to fit those into your diet. As long as you hit your macros, you can still see results and still see progress. So it's a very flexible way to live and to eat. So for that reason, I think that people who have experience tracking macros are going to be able to live a more flexible and happier life when it comes to nutrition and just in general, because you're going to be able to use that knowledge of nutrition for the rest of your life, whether you're tracking or not tracking, and you're going to be able to pass that knowledge on to kids or relatives or friends who can get value from it as well. And you're going to be able to eat flexibly and enjoy foods you like while still getting results. And the last thing I wish I knew when I first started working out was to hire a coach from day one. If I knew to do this from day one, I would have learned things much quicker and I'd be much further along in my fitness journey, and I'm willing to bet that anyone watching would do the same. Not only that, but if I hired a coach 9 years ago instead of 3 years ago, my physique would be exponentially better today because I would have an extra 4 years of proper training and proper nutrition under my belt. I hired a coach back in 2017 for the first time when I decided to compete for a men's physique competition, and it was a game changer for me. I'll throw the transformation up on the screen here, and I've hired a coach every single year since then because there's been so much benefit from it. And if you're asking, Jesse, why would you hire a coach if you're a trainer yourself? Don't you know what you should be doing? The answer to that is yes, I absolutely know exactly how I should be training, how to manipulate my nutrition to see the results I want to see, but it's not about the information, right? There's unlimited information on the internet. You can find any info that you want on the internet for free today, but it's not about that. It's about the accountability. It's about having to answer to someone, to check in with someone, to have that skin in the game that's going to push you out of your comfort zone and allow you to see progress and results that you would never see if there was no accountability. If you take some money out of your wallet and you give it to me or you give it to a coach, not only does that kind of set a tone in your head that, hey, I take my fitness and my health seriously, this is something that I'm willing to invest in for myself, but also you don't want to lose that money. You don't want to waste that money, and it holds you accountable itself to really follow through on what you already know you should be doing. So for me, even though I'm a personal trainer and a coach myself, it's a personal goal of mine to always have a coach going forward every single year to just make sure that I'm taking my fitness seriously and I have someone to check in with and to have to answer to. But that is the end of the video, man, so thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you picked up some stuff or learned some things that can help you on your journey. If you did get value from the video, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel so you get notified when I make more videos just like this one. So thanks you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.